We invite you to listen to the following discussion by Supreme Master Ching with association members in Cambodia on May 11, 1996, entitled Redeeming the Treasure You Possess Inside.
All kind of nationality, huh? Right? Very difficult to bless this world. Sometimes the ego stands in between our goodwill and the blessing of God. And then we blame God for not doing anything to us. So now, at least you have faith, huh? Okay, it's not for me, the test is for you. Every time you don't pass the test, you know you have improved or not improved. You know, just surrender. Really. So whatever we do, we have to check up our inside. Then we know our level. I don't bother writing to the master and ask, oh, master, which plane of existence am I in now, you know? I could tell you you're on the 8th, or on the 7th. What is the use if you don't progress yourself and you do the things that you used to do 10, 20 years ago? It doesn't matter who say what, huh? There's no use. Really, this kind of frustration, all the master experience. And sometimes to the detrimental effect of the whole planet as well. You remember Ananda when the Buddha was still alive? The Buddha asked him, Ananda, you know, I have practiced such and such a yogic power. I can live forever. I will never die. And Ananda didn't hear nothing. Perhaps he was thinking of vegetarian chicken broth or something like that. Broth, soup. He didn't say nothing. So the Buddha say again, dear beloved intelligent Ananda, you know I can live forever because I have some special such and such yogic power. The Buddha meant to tell him that if you ask, request me to stay, then I could. But Ananda never think of such thing. Why? You know, why do you think about such thing like that? It's not interesting, right? He forgot anything because every day he's with the Buddha. He doesn't feel the lack of anything. He doesn't feel the nostalgic sentiment of missing a Buddha when he's away. 25 years they're together on the road and anywhere. So Ananda was filled, to the brim, perhaps sometimes too much, overfilled with blessing and happiness through being with the Buddha every day. So he does not think for all the sentient beings that the people never saw the Buddha before, and the people who cannot see the Buddha so often, if the Buddha stay longer, how good would it be for all these sentient beings? Hey, how can he think about that? Like the people who eat to the field, they don't think of other people who's hungry. This I have experienced. So when the Buddha say the third time again, Ananda, I can stay in this world forever if I want to, because I have a yogic power. What do you think? Ananda don't think. He doesn't think anymore. He probably be in the 5th level or something. He doesn't have to use his mind. So he probably say, good. Or not good, whatever. Or he didn't even say anything. So after the third time, Ananda did not request the Buddha to stay. Saw the devil, the Mara, come and ask the Buddha to leave. See that? There's only 2 choices, the positive or the negative. If the positive doesn't act, then the negative will come. So if we don't use our positive thinking and power, then there's only one other choice, that when time comes, we use the negative, because the chance is past. Another choice. And then the more we use the negative, the more we get used to it, and then we never do anything else except keep using it again and again, and we never get out of it. And that is what we call the wheel of transmigration, because we keep running inside that circle again and again, And then we're proud of it. Because we don't want to listen to anybody. We don't want to do whatever pleasing to other people according to their opinion. We just want to do the thing that's pleasing to ourselves. And we always do that, and we're proud of it. We think we're a tough guy. We don't listen to nobody. Yes, but this is not good for us. If it's good, we must listen. Like Ananda, if he paid more attention to the Buddha, if he has more compassion to the sentient beings instead of only intellectual power, then he would have thought more. Even though he has the blessing of being a Buddha every day, he would have thought of the people who are so desperate, who are longing to be with the Buddha or to see the Buddha more often or to see him later date. No, he would not think so. In Mali, we have similar problem. And sometimes, the kitchen staff cook only soup, noodle soup, for the working members or the monks and the nuns in the center sometimes when they're working. Then the kitchen staff cook for them. In the evening, like winter, and it's so cold, and they work all day, laboriously, with the cement and rocks and that. And evening you can eat only noodle soup. Why? Because the staff are in the kitchen. First, they're warm. They don't spend much energy. Second, they're full. They eat whenever they want. And they can be fooled by the smell of the food too. Yeah. They eat the first hand. And so the workers who came from outside, when they eat that, they get hungry. In the night. And all they meditate upon was more noodle. Or maybe instant noodle. But for some people who came from far away, to come to work temporarily or just to stay there for a while, at that time it's terrible. And all the foreigners too, they're about 3-4 times bigger than the Asian. And the foreigner, they don't know the language. They can't even order. At that time, they didn't know that they could order food, for themselves. It's extra. So these people will not understand the need of those foreigners who just came, or those short-term residents, or those who came from other provinces to work, especially in winter. But how can they not know it? I don't understand, really. Even if I'm not hungry, I don't eat much, or twice or once a day, and I don't work much. I'm not cold because I don't go out to work. But I understand this. You can understand by feeling, by seeing. You don't have to understand by language or by your own experience even, no? Wait until you have your own experience. It's too late. So if we live our life very inconsiderate, very unloving, unkind, then God must make us understand it through a very difficult way. Like one time or another lifetime, we must be going through hunger, lack, and short of everything ourselves in order to understand what it means to be hungry. And then this impression will be always in our mind, then we'll never forget it for many lifetimes again. But to learn the hard way is difficult. So we should always consider, and that is practicing, that is meditating. Not only sit here 7 days, or sit at home 2.5 hours and feeling pretty. In everything you do is practicing. Every work we do well, that is practicing, that is meditating, and that is contributing to God and to the universe. And that is also learning experience. Not just meditation. Meditation is just to fill our tank with some more cleverness and intelligence so that we can know what to do. But if we don't listen to this voice, to this intelligence, then we always do wrong. The same again and again. I'm feeling proud of it. That we are clever. We can trick some people into doing what we want. And that person cannot do anything about it. Because it's too late. Because what can she do? Because so what? It's very difficult. They're very difficult. Don't let the ego trick you. Because sometimes the ego comes in so many different forms and we think we don't have it. Why? I love the master so much. For example, I love the brother, sister so much. I do anything for them. No, yes, you do anything for them, but the way you want. And you busy yourself with being good girl, good boy, and charitable person, etc., etc. But in fact, you cause more trouble than help, because you don't do the thing people require you to do. But you busy yourself with any other thing to make your day so busy and look so good that people cannot even scold you. They dare not even scold you because you just look so good. You're so busy, you do anything. Anything except the thing that we want, that other people want. So the ego can always trick us into thinking that we are virtuous and good and egoless, but it's not true. So every time we do something, we must think whether this thing is needed or not. Huh? Because sometimes the people feed on the charity action, like they will feel very good that they do something good. And that's why the poor people are the most beloved and welcome anywhere. If poor people don't exist, how do the charitable organization exist? How can they show their goodness? And what? What can they do then? Similarly, the practitioner like us can also sometimes be very deluded into thinking that we are good, that we are very charitable, that we are very egoless by being busy all day and do anything that everybody knows that we're good, we're busy. But it's not necessarily, beneficial. Like Anand, if he just say yes to the Buddha, please stay, then the king of the Maya would not have come and asked the Buddha to go. When after the Buddha said 3 times, he cannot say no more. He already hinted 3 times, and his limit finished. So the Maya comes and say, look here, nobody wants you. Buddha, just go. See that? Similarly, many times we do things, but we don't think. We don't think of the consequence. All right, I don't know if I make myself clear or not. The same thing over again. Huh? Yes? Really? You understand? Theoretically. Until you do it. Right? Make it become your practice. Okay? Not talk. Try to meditate sincerely and pray for the people, whatever you can do. Pray for this country too. But tell God that we know whatever He does is good. We don't even need to pray. But praying is good for us, to exercise our love, compassionate power, that's all. At least if we know we sincerely care for people, at least we know, I have a little love, at least. And you feel good about it. Otherwise, Mr. God, He don't listen to what people's nonsense. He does what He does. He don't wait for you to tell Him what to do, really. Who do you think we are, that we tell Him what to do? You think He will listen? And if He does, what kind of God is that? Doesn't even know what He's doing. That we, the immortal, the mortal beings, have to tell Him what to do every day. Oh, please God, make peace in Israel. Oh, please God, make peace in Cambodia. Please God, do something about America. As if He doesn't know what He's doing. That is our problem too. I think if He doesn't know what He's doing, then we no need to pray to Him, right? He will know anyhow. He don't know what He does anyhow. And then if we pray and He do it, then what is the use of having such a God sit there and wait for people to beg Him on their knees before doing something? So I don't know. Decide for yourself what kind of God you want. I know what I want, but He didn't listen. So good night. See you tomorrow. Take care. Take care. Zip your tent, okay? So the animal don't come in. So zip your tent, even though you don't care for your safety. I care. Maybe you don't care for your safety, but should care for the animal. In case he come in, sleep with you, and you flop over and make him become a pancake. Maybe the snakes don't harm you because you're a practitioner. Maybe you don't know it. And then it's just one of your kung fu action is terminated. So be careful, Zip your tent and plug the hole, okay? This is a small thing, but maybe it's helpful. And take your hat anywhere you go. Huh? And if the thing, if your seat is too hot, just take it away. Sit on the stone. Put cloth or towel on the stone and sit there. Okay? But make it a little bit soft first. In the old time, the Indian people, they meditate on the kusha grass, you know? Perhaps for coolness, huh? Okay, take care as best as you can. And in the afternoon, when it's cool, then meditate, huh? If it's too hot, just hide yourself somewhere. And there's another trick I want to tell you. If you're in a tent, in the evening, in the night, in the daytime, huh? You cover the tent with a sleeping bag. Flap it over, okay? Open the zip and flap it over. First, you air your sleeping bag, so make it last longer. And second, inside the tent, if you open both window and cover the sleeping bag on top of the roof, it's just as cool as in, Costa Rica. Try it. Okay, today I'm going to read to you a story. Let you know what people think about prayers. Because some of you might think that your prayers are the best. Huh? Now, how to pray to the Lord? Maybe you know better than me. Do you know? All right. Okay, let's see if you know better than these people. There is a village somewhere, sometimes, in our planet, or maybe in other planets. In this village, there was a holy man. So he's supposed to be very holy. So every time when people have some problem, difficulty, or some disaster, or something that doesn't go right in the village, they used to come to this holy man and ask him to help them, you know, like pray to God, and meditate for them, see what is wrong. Okay, then the holy man would retreat into a very special forest, and he would sit in a very, 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 very special place. And then he would say a very, 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 very special prayer. And then it happens that God always listened to his prayers, somehow. So the villagers always got the help they needed. Wow, that's fine. That's good. But then, as everyone else, you know, he died. One day he died. So now the villagers don't know what to do. But their troubles don't die. You know what I mean? The holy man died, but the trouble is still alive. Yeah. And always new trouble are born, you know, every day. Funny, huh? Funny how we die, but the trouble never die, huh? So after they keep thinking for a long time, they decided that they will take their trouble to his successor. The successor of this holy man is not that holy. People know that. But still, there's no one else now, you know, as better than he. So people come to him and also lay their problems in front of him and ask him to help. So now, this not so very holy man also go to the forest, and then sit there and say a very special prayer. He didn't know what his master used to say, but now he says something special like, "Oh my Lord." You know how people pray sometimes. you know, I'm not a holy man. Well, at least he's a very honest man. But surely you are not going to hold this against my people, are you? So listen to me and come to my assistance. So God was thinking, oh, reasonable enough. Okay. Even though this man is not holy, but the village people has nothing to do with his unholiness. All right, God listened to this and then help the people all the same. Right? All right, now. So people continue to come to this not so holy man, and have him to pray to God and save their problem. So far so good. But you know what? It happened that this boy, or this not so holy man, also died. God, we have no end to the problem. No solution. Now, so the people also feel very confused now, what to do. So now they try to find another man, not even holy, and not even the successor of the other master, but something more special, something like he's more sweet than anyone else, and perhaps he's more diligent in his prayers or something like that. So they just pick one of the congregation people. And then so they say, now it's your job. You pray for us. We have this and that problem. You must try. So it happened that this man doesn't know anything about the previous two persons. So he didn't even know where the forest is. Well, he knows the forest, but he doesn't know where the special place is. And he doesn't even know any special prayers himself. So he don't know what to do. So he just come near the forest, sit anywhere. It's not a special place. Because before, the two persons used to go to that very special place. To them, it's very sacred. So therefore, every time they pray, is answered. And the successor also the same. At least a very special prayer. And that very special place where his master used to sit. And that very special forest. But now this man, he know nothing about it. So what he does, he just kneel there or sit there. And he said to the Lord, oh my Lord, if it's the formula of the prayer that makes you listen, then I am helpless. But please, don't be attached to a special formula of prayer and listen to me. Okay. Our villagers have a lot of problems, and thus and thus and thus. Why don't you help them? And with that, he just stood up and go home and sleep. Okay. And God listened all the same. Because nobody else prayed to him. So that's the only man. So he said, okay, help. So God helped the villagers, all the same, like before. Now, this man suddenly became a very special person, and he continued to do his special job every day like this. But it happened that this man also went to see St. Peter one day, like every of us. So this man died too. And the village still exists. And the problems still exist. So perhaps the children of the villagers before, they continue and they keep their custom. So now they look for a man to do this job, praying for them. Funny. How can people not pray directly and have to find somebody? You see, it's a habit. It's a habit, see? We rely on something and we are attached to something that works one time, but it never works again. Even then, we feel attached. So after this man died, the people are very much trouble now. Nobody will go near to this category of holiness, or diligent in prayers, or anything like that. No virtuous person in the village. Oh, they were very much trouble. They don't know how to get in touch with the Lord anymore. And their trouble keep mounting and mounting, and nothing helped. So they just think hard and then gather together, and they decided, just pick any man. So they happened to pick a businessman. This man was very wealthy, so he doesn't have to work very hard. So he can afford to have time to pray for the people. That's what they think. Wow, that will do, that will do. So the man became, reluctant priest like that. Okay, so now people entrust to him the job of getting in touch with the Lord, praying for them. So now this businessman, what does he know about praying? Yeah? All he knows about is bank, money, accounting, tax, things like that. So, but anyhow, everybody begged him to do it, so he accepted finally. But as he was always more interested in money than in God. So he's no nonsense. He would talk directly. He just sit in his house in front of his accounting machine, and he look up to heaven, or maybe he look into his computer. I don't know. He say, now then, what kind of God are you? That when you are perfectly capable of solving any problem in this world, and which you have caused them, the problems you have caused them yourself, and when you're capable of solving them, and you just don't do anything about it, so what kind of God are you? And then you refuse to do anything. That is your duty. And then now you're waiting for what? You're waiting that we have to kneel on our knees and then beg you to do it? What kind of God is this? Now just do your job, won't you? So God would feel, embarrassed. And he listened and he helped people anyhow. So this is a different manner of praying of different people. Now you pick what prayers, you like to apply for yourself. So anyhow, I remember what I told you yesterday? I don't think he has to be told what to do. But sometimes he does like that. Maybe because he does what we expect him to do. For the holy man expected that God is difficult like that, and is very holy and pure, being. So we have to be very pure, holy, and go to a very special, isolated place in order to pray to God. And then maybe God is moved by our holiness, our purity, our time, effort, and respect to God. And therefore God will grant an answer of our prayers. Well, the second man, he expects differently. He's not holy, so he expects that God don't care about whether he's holy or not, but to help the people who has nothing to do with his holiness, to help them. So God also fulfilled his desire, because he expects him this way. And so he waited for this man to go to that special place. But at least, this man, even though he's not holy, but he know about a holy man. And he know that the holy man always went to a very special place and say a special prayer. So at least this man think that the answer from God is connected somehow with that holy place, with that special place in the isolated forest. So he cling to that notion and believe. That's why if he pray at home, it probably doesn't work, because his mind expects that he must be, at least, even if he's not holy, he must be connected with that holy man through that special place. So God wait for him to fulfill all this, and then granted the blessing. And now the third man, of course, he doesn't know anything about it. So he cannot expect himself, to go to find a special place or a special forest and say a special prayers. Because he doesn't have that kind of idea in his mind. So he just do what he think. He pray to God, please help the people. And because he prays straightforwardly, sincerely from his heart, so God granted too. And why not? Huh? If even less small thing he doesn't have, then what kind of God? And after all these three people, so sincere and so humble, and the villagers are short of a holy and humble person. So they have to resort to any kind of people who they think would have time to pray for them. And then they pick the businessman. And the businessmen, they are no nonsense. You know, they care about their money, their business. So if they have to do the job, they just do it like business. You know? If you know how to do the thing, then you just do it. Why you wait for people to beg you? Well, I would say the same thing. Sometimes I say, well, please do it. If you don't, it's all right. Because you know what to do. You don't need our prayers. But you have to do what is in your heart. You understand what I mean? We cannot imitate 1, 2, or 3 of these prayers and say, well, the Master Ching Hai read this story for us and she say it's okay. Because even if I tell you to pray like that, you cannot. You cannot pray the way I do. Because you don't think the way I do. And when you pray, your attitude is not like my attitude. I'm like that, so I pray like that. But you are like this, so you pray like this. So every prayer is okay. No problem. And in my opinion, God or Master Power will work before we even have to pray. Especially in emergency. We just do our best whenever we can in each situation. And then God or Master Power will help accordingly. But doing our best, we must. And now, why the village people, even though they are not worse than the businessmen, why couldn't they pray themselves and have to rely on some medium like this? Is attachment, habit, preconceived ideas. You see? That's why most of people, when they have problem, they come to the priest or they go to the monk. For example, okay, maybe in Buddhist tradition, the monk of the Mahayana, they eat vegetarian at least, and they are unmarried, okay? Maybe like that. Okay, and then to the ordinary people's mind, they probably think, oh yes, he's very holy man, he eats vegetarian, and he's not married, he's very pure. Okay, then maybe they have an excuse. So whenever they have problem, they think because the man is pure, so they can come to him to make a connection with God through him, like a very good bridge. Maybe the temple, the place where we live is different, but I don't know the people are different or not. That's why we teach you the direct path. Pray yourself. Okay, if I have a method, I tell you, and you do it yourself. Why do I have to keep everything special for myself? And then you have to think that I'm a special person. There is no one special. All right? You have to believe in yourself and do everything according to your own standard, your own belief, and your own idea of how God should be, how God should respond to you, or how God should do his job. That's, I think, is the best. Now, I see if any other better story for you. Okay, now, there's very good story like this, but I don't know if you will understand or not. Okay. There was a man. He prayed about 5 times a day. And he has a business partner, you know. Both of them are doing business. And he has a business kind of acquaintance who had never set foot in the church. But both of them now are getting old. And this man who prayed 5 times a day, approaching his 80. And he was a very,
He felt very disappointed and miserable. So he prayed to God like this. Oh Lord, our God, since I was young, not a day go by that I not come to the church in the morning and say my prayers. And that I go 5 times in a very specific hours every day in order to pray to you. Never one single move or any single important decision, even every little unimportant thing that passed my brain without me praying to you first. And without me invoking your name. Yet, ceaselessly day and night like this, I have been praying to you all these decades. Now I'm old, feeble, and still as poor as a church mouse. Now this man compared himself to the poor church mouse and complaining, praying, yes, to the Lord. To the Lord. Why? And ask him why is it that he doesn't help him, that he prays so hard and he devoted himself 5 times a day since many decades to pray to the Lord. And now he's still very poor and have nothing. Compared to the business partner who has drinks and gambles even, and even in his advanced age, have relationship with women of very bad characters and so on, so on, so on. Even then he's very successful and possess a great wealth. I do not ask the Lord, the man complained continually. I do not ask the Lord to punish that guy at all. But I ask you why you treat me like this when I'm so pious to you. And you don't give me anything. While that man, he never prays to you, he never set foot in the church, and you help him so much. Why? So, finally, the Lord God say, because you are such a monumental bore. Got it? No. It's too boring to God, Who understand? Raise your hand. What is it? Boring character. But I know, he already said that, but why? Huh?
He doesn't help himself, he keeps asking God.
He doesn't help himself, he just asks God all the time.
The same thing every day, same time, same prayers, same life. So we just meditate every day.
Boring life, right? Too monotone, right?
That's right.
Okay. I think you are very right. But the most important thing is that he did not understand what God's mean. You pray, okay, but you must do your best. Try your duty, enjoy life, use your brain that God gives you, use your wisdom. Not always relying on God. Okay, relying on Him, but not every little thing ask Him, can I wear my shoes today? Or should I wear the left side on the left and the right side on the right? For example, like that. I know somebody always asks like that. And he bothered the Lord no end, so that Lord have to plug the earplug 24 hours to avoid such people. Because if God have given us the brain, and the hands, and the feet, and all the instruments like everybody else, then He meant we must use them as much as the neighbors does, and then make our life better according to what we want. We have to try our best all the time. And whatever the situation arises, we have to act accordingly. God doesn't mean that you have to go out and drink and gamble and things like that, and means indulge yourself in such a practice. But what it means here is that you have to be flexible. You act according to the situation and according to your knowledge and your wisdom, and not always abiding by such a boring timetable and then everything waiting for God to take care. For example, in some of the monastery or in our center, we say don't speak during your retreat and things like that. Yes, not speak all the time, but we speak accordingly. We speak when it's necessary and be silent when we must keep the silence. And we have to do everything in such a middle way like this. That is what it means by many of the rules and regulations in the scriptures. If the people live too rigidly according to the scriptures, then we are doomed. That's not what God intended us to do. For example, I told you one of the story in one of the Indian village, when the people refused the vaccination for smallpox or chickenpox, thing like that, because they say that we have to. Some of these people believe absolute surrendering to God means whatever disease come, he will come. Whoever die must die. Nobody else should interfere in this business. So they refuse, with all kind of resistance, to take the injection for preventive chickenpox, thing like that, chickenpox. And they even fight with the doctor till the end. And the doctors there must use some of the tricks, It's not really violent, but to kind of catch people and force them down on the floor and give the injection anyhow, thing like that, against their will. Okay, God might decide that some of the people in this world should have chickenpox because of their karma or something like that, or just to teach people hygienic lessons. But then there are other innocent people who will also be prompted to this kind of infectious disease should they get in touch with each other, because the bacteria doesn't recognize who is the one with karma and who is not. So God, in a second thought, he thinks, oh my God, this is no good. So God would have sent somebody to come down to invent a chickenpox preventive medicine. So in that case, we have to listen to the second thought of God and get the preventive medicine. Yeah? Because everything, if they believe everything happened by God's will, even the disease happens by God's will, then the preventive method is also by God's will. Is that not so? Then why listen to the one and not listen to the others? And we have so many similar cases in this world. Extreme fanatic and no wisdom. So as a practitioners, I think we should understand the flexibility of the precepts and of a life standard and of God's will and God's blessing. We have to know, we have to be very attentive to everything that happens around us in order to detect what is God's will. Almost everything is, until we jump in and use our ego to stop it or to prevent it or to make things go bad. Because we try very hard to fight against it. Very difficult to control this ego, I tell you.